Alright, so let's get into it. You've probably seen Pi Network pop up on your social feeds. Maybe a friend sent you an invite. It's a digital currency project that's been building steam. The main idea is simple. They want anyone to mine it. Mine right from your smartphone. No battery drain, no super powerful rigs. It's about making crypto accessible to everyday people. The team is from Stanford. They're focused on building community first, before launching the main network. The project is in an enclosed mainnet period. Think of it like a walled garden. Pi on your phone isn't on public exchanges yet. You can't cash it out for dollars. So, you see this number, $314,159, and you're probably thinking, where on earth did they get that from? It seems incredibly specific and, let's be honest, ridiculously high for a currency that isn't even publicly traded yet. Well, it's not a random number, it's a direct reference to the mathematical constant pi, which is approximately 3.14159, pi symbol morphing into the number $314,159. The network and the coin are named Pi, so the community, particularly a very vocal and organized segment, latched onto these first 6 digits as a symbolic and aspirational target value. It's part branding, part meme, and part a serious economic statement. This isn't just a fun little nod to the name though. The proponents of the GCV of $314,159 believe that setting such a high value from the get-go is crucial for the network's success. Their argument is that if Pi launches on the open market at a very low price, say a few cents, it will be treated like any other speculative meme coin. Wealthy investors, or whales, could easily buy up huge amounts of Pi, manipulate the price, and then dump it, leaving the millions of early miners, the pioneers, with very little to show for their years of participation. By setting a high consensus value, they hope to prevent this kind of market manipulation. The whole idea is to establish Pi as a store of value and a medium of exchange for high-value goods and services right from the start, rather than a low-value token for microtransactions. Think of it this way. If the community widely accepts that 1 Pi can be used to buy a portion of a car or a luxury item, it completely changes the perception of the currency. It's a bold attempt to flip the script on how crypto value is established. Instead of starting low and hoping to go to the moon, the GCV movement wants to start the countdown already in orbit. Of course, this figure is highly controversial. Many crypto analysts and even some within the PI community are skeptical, viewing it as unrealistic and potentially misleading for new users. They see the collective agreement of millions of people as the most powerful force in determining value. So how does this all come together in a real event? This is where the barter system comes in. The GCV barter event isn't a centralized thing organized by the Pi core team. Instead, it's a decentralized, community-driven initiative, where pioneers who have passed KYC can trade real-world goods and services for Pi coins. At the agreed-upon GCV rate of $314,159 per Pi, it's happening within the enclosed mainnet, using the peer-to-peer transaction feature in the Pi wallet. Think of it like a massive global digital flea market where the only currency accepted is Pi. Participation is pretty straightforward if you're already part of the ecosystem. First, you need to be a Pi user, or pioneer, who has completed the KYC verification process. This ensures that all participants are real, unique individuals, which is a core principle of the Pi network. Once you're verified and your mined Pi has been migrated to your mainnet wallet, you're good to go. You can then find other verified pioneers to trade with, either through social media groups, dedicated forums, local community meetups. The trades themselves can be for anything and everything. The GCV movement has been bubbling for a while. Recent updates coming out of China have really kicked things into high gear. Chinese pioneers have always been one of the most active and organized communities within the Pi network, and they've taken the lead in making the GCV barter event a large-scale, tangible reality. We're seeing reports, videos of massive, organized barter fairs and physical stores that have popped up across the country, all explicitly pricing their goods based on the $314,159 GCV. This is a significant shift from scattered online trades to coordinated real-world economic activity. These aren't just small, informal meetups anymore. In cities across China, merchants are setting up storefronts with banners that clearly state "We accept Pi" and list prices in Chinese yuan and list prices in Pi, calculated at the GCV rate. You can walk into a designated shop and buy a bottle of water and buy a new television using the Pi on your phone. This level of organization is what's new and exciting. It's moving beyond a simple belief in a number and into the practical application of that belief on a commercial scale, creating a mini economy that runs entirely on Pi. This organized push from the Chinese community is also having a ripple effect globally. It's providing a blueprint for how other communities can organize similar events. Pioneers in other countries like Vietnam, Nigeria, South Korea are seeing the success and structure of the Chinese barter fairs and are starting to replicate them. This is creating a powerful network effect. It's easy to be skeptical and to lump this in with all the other hype-driven events we see in the crypto space. We've all seen projects with huge promises that fizzle out. Well, the biggest differentiator is its focus on utility before speculation. Most crypto projects launch on an exchange and their value is immediately determined by traders buying-selling. The game is about predicting price movements. The Pi GCV event, on the other hand, is attempting to build a value foundation based on a real-world economy of goods services. The Pi Barter event is designed to create circulation. The goal is for them to actually use their coins to buy things. It's about participating in an economy, not just playing a financial market. If this whole GCV experiment works out, even partially, the potential benefits for early adopters, the pioneers, are pretty significant. For merchants, and for small business owners, participating in the barter event is a way to tap into a massive global customer base of millions of engaged users. And yes, let's circle back to that life-changing wealth potential. If Pi were to achieve a stable value anywhere near the GCV target, the early pioneers who have been mining for years could find themselves holding a very valuable asset. We have to talk about the risks because there are quite a few. The biggest risk for participants, especially merchants, is that the GCV of $314,159 might not hold when Pi eventually hits the open market. A merchant who sells a $1,000 car for about 0.003 Pi is betting that the value of that Pi will remain high. Since there's no central authority or escrow service, the potential for scams is high. There's also a regulatory risk. Finally, there's the risk of community division. So you're intrigued and maybe you want to see what this is all about for yourself. The absolute first step, if you haven't done it already, is to download the Pi Network app, MinePi. You'll need an invitation code from an existing member to join. Open the app once a day, tap the button to prove you're an active user. That's how you accumulate Pi coins. The most important task there is applying for KYC and passing KYC. KYC usually means submitting a photo of your government ID and doing a liveness check. After KYC, the next milestone is migrating mined Pi to your mainnet wallet. Now you're ready to trade. Find other KYC'd pioneers to barter with. Facebook groups, Telegram groups, chat rooms inside the Pi app. Look for local or country-specific groups to make arranging trades easier. Start small, build trust, and always prioritize safety in every transaction. So, what does all of this, the GCV, the barter fairs in China, the global buzz, mean for the future of Pi Network? In the short term, it's generating a massive amount of engagement and demonstrating real-world utility, even within the confines of the enclosed mainnet. It's proving that the Pi community is more than just a number on a screen. It's a network of real people willing to create and participate in an economy. This is a powerful narrative that helps differentiate Pi from the thousands of other crypto projects out there. It's a live stress test of the ecosystem's social and economic fabric. Looking further ahead, the success or failure of the GCV movement will have a major impact on Pi's launch into the open world. If the community can sustain a high-value barter economy for a prolonged period, it could create a strong precedent for the coin's price when the mainnet finally opens to external exchanges. It could attract serious institutional investors and partners who are looking for cryptocurrencies with established utility and a strong community. It could be the foundation for a truly global, peer-to-peer marketplace. However, the opposite is also true. If the GCV bubble bursts and the value of Pi crashes when it hits the open market, it could severely damage the trust and morale of the millions of pioneers who bought into the $314,159 vision. It could lead to a massive sell-off and confirm the skeptics' view that the project was built on unrealistic expectations. The core team is in a tricky position, needing to balance the community's enthusiasm with pragmatic preparations for a sustainable, long-term future. Their next moves in navigating this period will be absolutely critical. Ultimately, the GCV barter event is a fascinating chapter in the ongoing story of Pi Network. It represents a bold attempt to rewrite the rules of how value is created in the digital age. Whether it becomes a legendary success story or a cautionary tale, it has already achieved something remarkable. It has mobilized millions of people to collectively imagine and build a new kind of economy. For now, it makes Pi Network one of the most interesting experiments in the entire tech and finance space. We'll definitely be keeping a close eye on how this develops. It's been MKBHD, thanks for watching.